Hey, what's going on? I hope you're doing good. So today I want to talk about gear, and specifically I want to tell you that I'm not gonna buy any more gear for a year, and I'm sort of hoping that I can use this channel and use you, if you are gonna be somebody who's gonna be sticking around, to help me not buy any more gear. I'm recording this on the 29th of November, so effectively let's just say December 1st. So I'm not going to buy anything until next Christmas time. All right, why am I doing this? What's the point of that? I just don't want to waste any more time trying to learn other pieces of gear, and I don't want to waste time trying to find things to fit into my setup. And I love the things that I currently have, and we'll sort of explore some of that through this video. But just overall, most of the gear that I have, I owned before, sold, and then rebought. Enough is enough. Another motivation for me doing this is to get extremely proficient with the pieces that I currently have and just get lost in exploring sound and not trying to figure out how something works. Okay, so in this video, what I'm gonna do is just show you the pieces of gear that I currently have. We'll explore some of the sounds that they make and why I think that they're important, why I'm keeping them, and yeah, we'll just make some sounds. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to show you this thing that I have. It is a Teac A-2300SD. This is a reel-to-reel that I got from my dad. I was so stoked when I got this thing. I was thinking, I'm gonna put my masters on here. I'm gonna process drums and get like tape saturation. And I got it home, plugged it in, and it doesn't work. I've owned a reel-to-reel before. I sunk like $400 into servicing and trying to get it up and rolling. Eventually I just had to give up on it. But this one's special because it was my dad's and he owned it in the 70s. At some point I'm gonna get this fixed in 2024. Even if I just use it randomly, I think it will be something that's really inspiring. Like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go smash drums on tape, or I'm doing something that I want to sound a little wobbly so I can, like, you know, I don't know if that's good for it or not. I don't know anything. But yeah, so here's my reel-to-reel. I don't know how it works. I don't know what it does. All I know is that none of these things worked on there. Next thing. All right, so here is my FMR audio, really nice compressor. And to be honest with you, I haven't really figured out where I'm using this or how it fits into my setup. I don't know, it just isn't doing the thing that I want it to do, but I think that that's an opportunity for me to learn more and figure out what it does really well. So I'll just show you a little bit here. I've got just a simple drum loop on. Let me bypass this so that we can hear it. I'll turn it on here. I already have some settings sort of dialed in. It also has a super nice mode, which I guess is a little bit more transparent. I don't know if it's changing the knee. I haven't read the manual, so this is an area for me to explore so that I can really figure it out. But it seems to be less harsh. Maybe it's a speed or slowness thing. Listen, I just need to play around with this some more. And I think that I'm going to find a place for it to fit in my mix. I don't know if it's just going to be dedicated to drums, or maybe it'll be something that I put on a bus, or if it ends up being on my master bus. I don't know. But, okay, here's my Novation circuit rhythm. And the reason why I bought this was to prevent me from getting any other drum machines, like a TR-08 or a TR-6S or whatever all of those different drum machines are. Normally I'll see them and I'll want one really badly. I'll purchase them, and then what I end up doing is I'll play with it for a couple of weeks, and then I'll just end up using samples that are available to me in Ableton. This prevents me from doing that. I also wanted something that complemented the MS20. I have this thing that happens where I will make patches with the MS20 and I won't want to pull out the patch cables because I really like the sound, but I haven't done anything with it. And this sort of helps circumvent that because I can load those sounds onto the circuit rhythm, and then I feel comfortable pulling all of the patch cables out. Another trick that I'm using with the circuit rhythm is I will create packs, and they are the same packs. And I have TR-808 TR-909, and I believe Lindrum samples all built in, and I have them at the bottom, and then I have all of the different top sample slots left open so that I can record in samples. And then with each of those individual packs, I will treat them like a song. So I can go through and create a bunch of different sketches through the projects, and then I can develop something that I can then further evolve within Ableton. I'll explore that a little bit further in another video, but for now, maybe we can just take a listen to what I've got here. We're gonna do 4. All right. Back to our effects. Oh, snap. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show. So it's really cool that it has an ability to sample into it. I think the thing that's sort of rough is that you can't just plug a microphone into it. You need some sort of preamp to be able to do that. I found a workaround for it, and it's very clunky, but I did want to show it to you. Voice Memos app on my phone. I'm just going to record something. Bah! And then here's what I have to do to make this happen. I have the little lightning adapter cable, so I have to plug that into the phone. I have a very short 1/8 inch cable. And then into that, I've got this 1/8 inch splitter to 1/4 inch. So then I can then plug this into the sample in on the Novation circuit. Sample in, red, right, left. Okay, I'm gonna hit record. It's waiting for a signal. I'm gonna hit play on my phone. All right. Okay, so now I have my sample in here. I really do enjoy this device, and I hope that I can explore more with it and get something more out of it. Next thing. The next thing I wanted to show was my L2A passive reamplifier by DIYRE. And it's just a reamp box. And essentially what it allows you to do is turn your guitar pedals into effects or VST effects within your DAW. It does a bunch of other things, but that's how I'm using it. And I'll show you what it sounds like. I just have a drum loop going. Super cool. I did a video where I put one of these together, and I did it really quickly because I don't know how to solder, and it was super embarrassing. So I'll show you that. This has been really cool because instead of buying a piece of software, you can have something tangible. You can go to a pawn shop or somebody who's got a bunch of these just laying around. You can grab them and then just throw them into your mix and then try something different, like putting them on synths or putting them on your drum loops and just seeing if you can get some sort of creative flavor or something like that. Okay, this is my APC40. I initially bought this for performance, and at some point in time, maybe this will be something that will be used in performance, but also I wanted a dedicated controller for Ableton. And one of the main ways that I am using this is I have an effects rack that I use pretty much on all of my tracks, and it's just on my master bus, and I have these always set up and they're locked to that device. I've got a bandpass knob here that just sort of brings everything down into a bandpass filter. I have a fade to gray knob that's like a DJ knob. I have a chopper, like a glitch sort of effect here. I have an overdrive, I have a delay, and a reverb. Okay, I don't feel like I need to go into too much detail about this. This is the KeyStep 37, and it's my main MIDI controller for my DAW. Some of the cool features about it is that it has CV out, it has a built-in sequencer, it has an arpeggiator, and one of the things that I love the most about it is that it has 4 banks of 4 CC knobs, and you can assign those values directly on the device, and it just talks to everything, so it's great. This. Another one of my favorite pieces of gear that I have is the iPad, and I know that typically it maybe wouldn't seem like it is a piece of gear, but it has so many things that I use all the time. I love a lot of these Korg synths that I have. So I have the MS20, the iPoly 6, I have the Odyssey I, which is the ARP Odyssey, and then the I Monopoly, among a couple of other things that I use on here. Also the Electribe, which is really cool. I did a previous video on the iPad and the iPad synths, and I went into some of my favorite features in them, so I won't go over that here, but I'll just show you really quickly the Poly 6, which is great. Oh, and with a camera kit, you can just connect this to that, and then you have a Poly 6. You're just like walking around with it in your book bag. It's so cool. All right, and the last piece of gear that I'm gonna talk about is the MS20. And I don't think I need to talk too much about it. It's my favorite synth. I've owned a couple of these, or it's the second one that I've owned. And I love the way that it sounds so much. And I feel like there's so much to explore. It's so simple, yet it can be really deep. And the sound design possibilities on it are really wide. And if you just want something that just sounds heavy without having to get really like lost in patching or anything like that, it's just right there. Just what you need. It's perfect. It's my favorite synth that I've ever owned. I love it so much. Okay, thanks for taking the time to watch as I go through this. This is sort of a personal thing because I really want to freeze in time. I want to be able to sort of root in the ground and say, these are the things that I own, and this is what I want to build with. I want to learn these things that I have, and I want to master them really, really well so that I can use them to their full potential. So I'm not getting Ableton 12, and I won't be getting the next AI tool that will help this, that, or the other, because ultimately it's just about finding new sounds, exploring those sounds, and the process of going through that. So anyways, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next week. Bye.